What's up, Dragon Brood? In case you weren't paying attention yesterday, we got a bunch of stuff from Marvel superheroes. And yeah, it does seem a little bit weird. And we're going to talk about a lot of cards here in a second. But some people have asked, why was this previewed as the last thing of the year whenever we have Lorwyn that's just a couple months away? Well, there could be a couple of reasons. Obviously, I think it's easy to say, like, well, we got to keep up with our corporate responsibilities, or maybe there's brand partner stuff that says you have to talk about this, or maybe it lines up with some holiday promotions for them. Who knows? But realistically, I think there is something to be said here when you're going to be going out of the office and most of your retail partners are going to be busy. And I'm talking about your local game stores are going to be busy through the end of the year. At least get the information out to them ahead of time, because when they come back in, or when we get back to January, they're going to be asked for pre-orders probably, or at least start getting those in their head and with their distributors for what they're going to need for the set. So it's good to have that information out there. That said, I think people really would want to see a lot of Lorwyn, but I would expect to see a lot of Lorwyn stuff very shortly. But for now, we're going to talk about superhero stuff. So yeah, let's start with the superhero of superheroes, Captain America Super Soldier. It is 1 white for a 3/2 human soldier warrior with first strike. Captain America enters with a shield counter on it, and if it be dealt damage or destroyed, you remove the shield counter. And as long as Captain America has a shield counter on him, you and other heroes you control have hexproof. This is kind of cool, right? When you're talking about playing against some of the mono red stuff where they might want to burn you, they have to like target your creature first and then it doesn't even die. You could also just chump block with it, pick something off maybe. Like, there's a lot of good uses for this card. And it happens to be a human, so it fits into all those decks. It's a 3 mana legendary creature, so it fits into some other decks for that reason. So I'm kind of digging it. It's a sweet card. The Sentry Golden Guardian. This is a 4 mana 5/5 human hero. Flying, vigilance, indestructible. That's a lot. Of course, there's a downside. When the Sentry enters, target opponent creates the Void, which is the opposite of the Sentry. A legendary 5/5 black horror villain creature token with flying, indestructible, and it has to attack each turn if able. Which is kind of funny. So then now you have these two 5/5s that are both indestructible. Theirs is forced to attack, yours isn't. But also, if you have a way to exile it, then you get rid of it, and then you're still attacking with the Sentry. Kind of sweet. It is a 5/5 flyer for 4 mana, hard to get rid of on the battlefield. There's probably a use for this. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I think we're definitely going to see this played. Attuma, Atlantean Warlord, 2 blue for a 3/4 Merfolk Warrior Villain. Other Merfolk you control get +1/+1, so there's more for the Merfolk decks in Standard because they've just needed that little bit of extra. Whenever one or more Merfolk you control attack a player, draw a card. So if you attack, you get to draw as well. Like, yeah, this is just a solid card. I mean, even by itself, if you were to get this in limited and you were playing these colors, or this color, it's blue, like 4 mana, 3/4 attack, draw a card, still fine. But if this gets to be played with your other Merfolk, get to pump everything, and then you just get to draw a card every attack step, yeah, cool, I'm down. And it's only an uncommon, so it's not like it takes up a major slot. I dig it. Bruce Banner. It's just a single blue mana for a 1/1 human scientist hero. XX tap. Draw X cards. Activate only as a sorcery. So you could spend 2 and tap it to draw a card, but you only do it once on your turn. 2 red, green. So you have to spend 6 mana to transform this into transform Bruce Banner, but activate only as a sorcery. So that means minimum you're having to play 3 colors or a way to get 3 colors. So I'm not super excited about that. Now, admittedly, there are other ways you could flip this for free or trick it into play with the backside. There's other stuff you can do, but the backside is Hulk. So you can't just cast Hulk if you want to for 2 red and 2 green. It is an 8/8 reach and trample. It has enrage. When Incredible Hulk is dealt damage, put a +1/+1 counter on him. If he's attacking, you untap him, and there's an additional combat phase after this phase. Yo, what? So 6 mana, 8/8, reach and trample. Then if he attacks, it's a 9/9. Oh no, if it's dealt damage, put a +1/+1 counter on him. But if he's attacking when he's dealt damage, then you untap him, and there's an additional combat step. So You attack with it. I guess you could shock your own Hulk during the attack step. And then he untaps, and then you get to attack again. Either way, though, 6 mana, 8/8, reach trample with an upside is pretty good. I don't even know if you would care about playing blue. You just want to run this thing onto the battlefield. Namor the Sub-Mariner. 1 blue for a mutant merfolk villain. It's an X4 with flying. Namor. That's actually important because there aren't a lot of merfolk that fly. So Namor's power is equal to the number of merfolk you control. Fair enough. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with 1 or more blue mana symbols in its mana cost, create that many 1/1 blue merfolk creature tokens. So if you have, let's say you played a counter spell, which is 2 blue, you would make 2 1/1 blue merfolk. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. This is a neat card, actually. If you like merfolk, you've already gotten 2 cool pieces worth considering. So this is nice. Baron Helmet Zemo. 3 black mana, so black for a 3/3. Whenever you cast a black spell from your hand, this connives, so you discard, draw a card. Boast. Exile any number of black cards from your graveyard with 15 or more mana symbols from among those mana costs. Copy those exile spells. You may cast up to 3 of the copies without paying their mana costs. Wow. There's some shenanigans you can get into with this card. Especially in a situation where you're maybe playing the large black creatures that you would otherwise reanimate. So being able to just like, I don't know, shoot the sheriff, your opponent's creature, discard Valgavoth or something, get a couple of those size creatures in the yard, and then just like, okay, here you go, exile these things. I'm going to play these 3 monsters. Your turn. That's probably going to be the most popular use for this, but there could be some other things in older formats where you like mill yourself, get a bunch of things in the graveyard, try to combo off or something, but kind of a sweet card. Opens up some deck building options for sure. Dr. Doom, 4 black, 3/3. Legendary creature, human scientist villain. When Doom enters, create 2 3/3 colorless robot villain artifact creature tokens named Doombot. That's kind of on point and to be expected. As long as you control an artifact creature or a plan, Dr. Doom has indestructible. At the beginning of your end step, you draw a card and lose a life. So you pay 6 mana, you get a 3/3, and then you get to draw a card and lose a life pretty much no matter what, as long as it's on the battlefield. But as long as the robots don't die, then Dr. Doom can't die. You're paying 6 mana for 9/9 worth of creatures and getting a card every turn. That seems pretty good for 6 mana. Hard to beat that, honestly. This feels very Doom-like, so the flavor is pretty cool here. And, I mean, getting a Phyrexian Arena and 3 3/3s for 6, not too bad. Doom reigns supreme. Well, here's one of those plans. It's a black and 1 for an enchantment plan. Whenever a villain you control enters, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Put a plan counter on this enchantment. When the 5th plan counter is put on this enchantment, sacrifice it. When you do, target opponent exiles the top 5 cards of their library. You may cast up to 2 spells from among the exiled cards without paying their mana cost. This I like. Not even just because the card's actually decent, but because it makes villains matter more, right? We needed more good heroes and villains matter cards if we're going to be doing all the superhero stuff. So this at least leans on the idea of like, okay, put more villains in your deck. So when you draw them, you get to play some free stuff from your opponent. I can get behind this. Super-Skrull, 1 black, so 4 mana for a 4/5. That's actually pretty good with flying. It's a Skrull shapeshifter villain. Also important because Lorwyn may have something that cares about shapeshifters, so keep that in mind. And then you can pay 2 and a white, create an over 4 colorless wall creature token with Defender. You can pay 3 and a green, Super-Skrull gets +4/+4 until their turn. You can pay 4 and a red, Super-Skrull deals 4 damage to target creature. You can pay 5 and a blue, target creature or target player draws 4 cards. This is okay. This is probably, of the characters so far, the first one I'm not excited about. Flavor-wise, it's fine. It's a shapeshifter. It's 4/5. It's well costed. It does have 4 different abilities to represent the 4 powers it stole from the Fantastic Four. So that's really cool. So flavor-wise, it's cool. Like, how good is the card? I don't know. I mean, you'd have to have a way to make multiple mana. It is 3 black in the cost, so that's already a bit restrictive. I don't know about this one. This is the first one of the character cards that I've kind of just been meh on. Thunderbolt's Conspiracy, 3 and a black. It's an enchantment with flash. When a villain you control dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a finality counter on it. That creature is a hero in addition to its other types. So 4 mana, flash it in when your opponent sweeps the board or something, and then all your creatures come right back, but now they're heroes. I don't have a problem with this. Just gives your creatures a second chance. This is actually probably like, you can play a villain deck, and like we've been talking about Doctor Doom and the plan and all that, and then just play this as a protective spell or a way to just get reusable stuff for your ETBs and things like that. So yeah, kind of cool here. Quicksilver Brash Blur. Just a red mana for a 1/1 mutant hero. Is this the first card we have in this set that's been some mutant? I think so. If Quicksilver Brash Blur is in your opponent's, or is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with him on the battlefield. It has haste, it has power up, pay 4 in a red, put a +1/+1 counter, and a double strike counter on Quicksilver. Activate each power up ability only once, reduce the cost by his mana cost if he entered on this turn. Oh, okay, so that's kind of cool. So power up is somewhat like Exhaust from Ether Drift, where you can pay the cost and use it once. But in this case, it says it's reduced the cost by the mana cost if it entered this turn. So on the same turn, you could basically just pay 5 mana because it'd be reduced by 1. And then you get to attack, double strike, whatever. Which makes it a good late game card, which is kind of neat. The card's cool, though. Like, you just get it for free. Like, he's so fast, he just flies out of your opening hand, basically. And it has haste. So if you're on the play, at the very least, you're like, okay, cool, I'm attacking for 1 on turn 1. If that matters for anything, that's important. Cool card, though, to represent the character. World War Hulk. 3 green for a Saga. That the first chapter is the next red or green creature spell you cast this turn can be cast without paying its mana cost. Ooh. The next red or green creature spell you cast this turn can be cast without paying its mana. Craterhoof, anyone? You know what I mean? Like, creature, this thing, Craterhoof? That's kind of cool. Chapter 2, put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. And Chapter 3, choose target creature you control to end a turn, double its power and its toughness, and it gains trample. Okay, I'm here for it. You can get a big dumb creature, you can make something else larger, and then you double the power of something as well, and it gains trample. Like, this is just make a giant Hulk, basically. I'm here for it. Yeah, this card's going to enable some silly things to happen, and I'm totally here for it. The Coming of Galactus. 2 black, green, so 5 mana for a Saga. Chapter 1, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Chapter 2 and 3, each opponent loses 2 life. Chapter 4, create a Galactus legendary 16/16 black elder alien creature token with flying, trample, and whenever Galactus attacks, destroy target land. That's funny because Galactus eats planets, so it has to eat lands. Man, 5 mana, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. So it's 5 mana, destroy a thing at a minimum. And then if it survives for 2 more turns, well, 3 more turns, your opponent loses 4 life and you get a 16/16. I don't know how good this is. Like, being able to have the option to just destroy anything is always going to be relevant. And maybe that's the way you have to look at this. It's a 5 mana, destroy a thing, but upside if the game continues, right? And if you're playing some type of mid-rangey control Golgari pile, then yeah, you go ahead and play it because you're going to see those extra turns most likely. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Some lesser known characters. Kind of cool to see these show up. 1 green blue, so 3 mana for a 2/2 human dinosaur hero. Whenever you draw your second card each turn until end of turn, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur's base power and toughness become 6/6, and they gain trample. Whenever an artifact you control enters, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay. I mean, not too hard to get this out. It's a 3 mana thing. It is a dinosaur, it is a human, so that might matter for some things. Getting an artifact into play, though, to just draw a card is pretty nice, so I don't hate that. That's pretty easy. It's a cool card. I just don't know where it fits. And, you know, we still are going to have a couple of sets released before this one, so there is a real chance that there's some other things that come out that care about drawing your second card to, you know, put an artifact token on the battlefield every turn, whatever, that could make this viable by the time it's released. And these next 4 are not standard legal. They're from the Commander set, but I figured since they showed them, we might as well talk about them. So, Invisible Woman is 2 and a white for a 3/3 legendary human hero. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've cast a non-creature spell this turn, create an 0/3 colorless wall creature token with Defender and Reach. Whenever you attack, you can pay red, green, white, blue, basically everything but black. When you do, target creature gets +1/+0 till end of turn for each creature you control and can't be blocked this turn. So begin combat on your turn if you've cast. So basically, if you're casting non-creature spells, which could be bounce spells or removal spells or whatever, you get an 0/3 wall, and then later you can just pay 4 colors of mana to attack or give something +1, would probably be like +3 or +4, and then it can't be blocked. So that's kind of cool. I'm assuming as we go through these, they're all going to play well with each other. And that's probably why there's one to represent each of the colors that's not black, since Doom was black. Actually, Doom wasn't black, but the card... Y'all know. Don't get silly in the comments. Y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, Mr. Fantastic, 2 and a blue, 2/4, human scientist hero with vigilance and reach. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've cast a non-creature spell, so same thing, this seems to be a theme here, you get to draw a card. Then you can pay the 4 colors of mana, tap it, copy target, triggered ability you control twice. You may choose new targets for the copies. Really strong. This one fills your hand. This feels significantly better than the last one in the sense that you're just fueling your hand. You're getting more cards. You have a bigger toughness. Getting to copy stuff twice is pretty sweet if you have a way to produce the mana. I mean, it's expensive because you still have to... Oh no, because this copy triggered abilities. So you could draw 2 cards, potentially. Or make 2 walls if you already have the Invisible Woman out. So that's kind of interesting. All right. Human Torch. Oh, I thought they were all going to cost 3. So, but this one costs 4. Human Torch is 3 in a red for a 3/2 human hero. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've cast a non-creature spell, again, Human Torch gains flying, double strike, and haste until end of turn. Interesting. Whenever he attacks, you can pay 4 color mana. If you do, until end of turn, whenever he deals combat damage to an opponent, he deals that much to each other opponent. So again, this one's worded to be commander friendly, obviously. So deal damage to an opponent, all your opponents would take damage if you paid the cost. Flying, double strike, and haste is pretty cool. Nothing wrong with that. I dig it. It's only a 3/2 though. And you kind of have to do a lot of work to get the real ability out of this. So not too sure how I feel about it. I don't think it's nearly as good as the other 2 though. The Thing. Oh, he costs the most. 5 and a green for a 5/5. Human hero with trample. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've cast a non-creature spell, again, put 4 +1/+1 counter or something. Okay, now we're talking. All right, so you can have this be a 9/9 by just playing a spell because whenever it attacks, you can pay the 4 colors of mana. When you do, double the number of each kind of counter on any number of target permanents you control. Okay, so this is interesting because it's not even just double +1/+1 counters. It's not even just double the counters on him. It is any number of target permanents you control, any type of counters. That's huge. That, I mean, he is big, but yeah, this is really, really interesting. I can get behind this, especially in the decks where I already have like a Black Panther commander deck that already cares about +1/+1 counters or whatever and is green. This is the type of card that goes right into something like that. Like, you could attack with, I mean, I guess you wouldn't be able to pay the mana to double all the counters though. So you still have to have a five color, well, 4-color deck. So maybe it's not that awesome. If you do have a 4-color deck with this thing, then great, if you care about counters. If not, then you're mostly going to be playing it for a 5/5, really a 9/9 plus. So, yeah, while that other ability is really good, unless you have some real tricks to get the mana and the right deck build, probably not going to be too crazy. But yeah, that's it. That's everything they showed us. I say this, though. I don't have a big problem with them showing it, but the thing to remember is these are cards that aren't going to release for, what, 6-7 months? Because we're going to see them next summer. So we're going to have 3 sets between now and then to even talk about. So don't get too excited because our perception of these may change entirely based on what comes out over the next 6 months. But it is good to keep them on your radar if you are looking to, I don't know, save money to make a purchase down the road or whatever. But y'all let me know. Is this good? Is it bad? Did you like the cards? Do you appreciate or hate that they put these out at the end of the year? I'd be curious what the community feels. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.